Welcome back to Bathurst. Let's see where our 10 athletes are at the halfway point. The springboard was done and won by Tasmania's Matt Gurr. Getting into the stock saw, it was New South Wales' Brad Delosa who had the skill with the still and went thin to win. And in the standing block, it was Laurence O'Toole who smashed the field to take first place. O'Toole leads the Volkswagen Amarok leaderboard on 25 points. Meyer second, Delosa third, and Arjun in fourth. Before we get back into the action, let's hear from Braden Meyer.
I started woodchopping when I was 9 years old, back in Victoria in Shepparton Show. I won that event, and yeah, ever since then I've really exceeded up the ranks, and I'm at Bathurst at the finals now, so I'm really happy. My earliest memory was probably when I was a real young fella, when Dad gave me my first axe, when I could just walk and run around chopping all the wood at home, and ever since then hasn't really left my hand, the axe. The hardest person to beat would probably be everyone at the start of the day, and then the boys I want to beat is Laurence O'Toole and Brad Delosa. I grew up with them and they've known me since I was a little fella, so I really want to beat them, show them I'm number one. I loved going to Austria last year at the World Championships. I'd love to go back this year at Poland and show them that we're number one again. Family history is on fourth generation. My dad does it, Pop just retired, and grandfather done it. And yeah, the whole family does it. Mum's side of the family has all done it, and yeah, we're right into it now. Braden Meyer from Broughton, Victoria, and you're watching STIHL Timbersports Australia.
In 1870, what started as a 25-pound bet between two Australian tree fellas in Ulverston, Tasmania, created the original extreme sport. Flash forward to 1985 in the US, STIHL created Timbersports, which in 2015 landed on Australian shores. This six-discipline, no-hold-barred racing format held on a single day of grueling competition, tests, breaks and bruises egos. Yet with a chance of Australian representative jerseys at stake and a shot at taking on the best from around the globe in the STIHL Timbersports World Championships, axes will fly and chainsaws will scream as the men of STIHL Timbersports Australia battle their way to the top of the field and cut their place into the history books of STIHL Timbersports.
Victoria's O'Toole and Meyer are sitting pretty in first and second. Tasmania's Gurr in fifth, consistency is his forte. Steers in sixth, still could rock the boat. Queenslander Head, currently last, has two of his best disciplines still to come, while Argent's the dark horse. Delosa from New South Wales is ready to pounce in third, and Justin Beckett, he's just hungry for points. Wildcards, Dingle and Beams could still cause an upset in the final standings. Here's what they're playing for. 10 athletes battle 6 disciplines. The top time is awarded 10 points, last place 1, 0 for a DQ, with first becoming the Australian champ and taking his shot at gold in the individual world championships. Our top 5 finishers go for gold in the global teams relay.
This is why we do timber sports, to get the best Australian representative to the World Championships and push him along to win that World Championship. So whether it's one of my mates, Braden, Brad, Jamie from different states, it doesn't worry me because I've grown up knowing them all, and just because we're separated by borders doesn't mean it changed anything for me.
Australia have a rich history of success on the world stage, with Brad Delosa winning the individual world championships in 2013. But in 2014, things weren't so great, and a hot saw DQ cost him the gold.
Good soft start for Delosa. First cookie looks very good. Time is running. Nice second cookie solid. Oh, he clips the third cookie.
While the defence of Brad Delosa's world title wasn't successful, the Champions Trophy was something else. A 4-discipline relay, here is the final against USA's Arden Koga Jr. Delosa and Cougar head-to-head take the line honours at the Champions Trophy ring, battling through stock saw, underhand chop, single butt, and last but not least, the standing block. In this event, Delosa was successful in capping off why he's the world's fastest lumberjack and producing the Champions Trophy ring and a new world record. A massive incentive for our top 5 athletes is to compete for Australia in the STIHL Timbersports World Championship Relay Team, which in 2014, Australia clinched their 2nd world title. The action gets back underway shortly with the single buck.
STIHL Timbersports, presented by Volkswagen Amarok. Tough comes from within. And STIHL. Better garden power tools.
Welcome back. Our athletes are ready to go in the single buck.
The single buck is a massive 2-metre-long man saw. With this, the athletes have to cut off a complete disc from a 46-centimetre log. The perfect mix of rhythm and strength are key to success.
Let's pick up the action in Heat 1, Dale Beams versus Brody Dingle, and Dingle takes it out, setting a new Australian record of 17:31.
I hate it as guts. It's the worst event there, I reckon. It's hard. It works your whole body. Every muscle in your body's working, and keep that sort of running smooth and long. It's hard to do. It takes a lot out of you.
That's Mitch Argent's take on the single buck, but what about his competitor, Braden Meyer?
It's an expensive sport because the saw costs nearly $2.5 grand, $3 grand. Just to get one that's going to suit you and cut better is a big task.
It sounds like both these youngsters aren't looking forward to this one. Meyer looks like he struggled to get into a good rhythm at the start. This is where it starts to burn, but the times are looking good. We may see the Australian record beaten. Braden Meyer is cutting furiously here. And he's done it, 16.82, a new Australian record. Meyer comfortably sets a new Australian record, helped by his dad. Surely that's one for the family album.
16.85, mate. You've got to be happy with that. You smashed Jimmy's head record of 18.32.
Yeah, I have. That's very softwood, so Jim Head will have a saw cut in that and might break my record, but hopefully not.
Before we get to Jamie Head, Justin Beckett and Brad DeLosa might have a little something to say about Braden Meyer's time. Let's see what we can get in Heat 3. DeLosa looking unbelievably quick. He truly is a king in this discipline, but don't discount Beckett. The Australian record is in serious trouble. Brad DeLosa is cutting unbelievably quick here. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it is. 14.71, new Australian record.
Very happy with the time, and I'm just hoping it stands up for this next event.
Let's take another look at that DeLosa run. Not the fastest of starts, but when he gets motoring, there's just no stopping him. Heat number 5 sees Laurence O'Toole battling against Jamie Head. This is going to be a fast and furious heat between the Queenslander and the Victorian. Both competitors are expert sawyers, and Head in last place really needs the points. Can they chase down Brad DeLosa's time of 14.71?
Time is ready. Contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
And they're off and soaring. Good start by both these athletes. Laurence O'Toole with those long strokes. Also Jamie Head probably has a slight lead moving through the middle section. Jamie Head's still leading. Laurence O'Toole with a bit of work to do. Jamie Head's got this one in the bag, but he's had a hang-up. That could cost him. Laurence O'Toole's pinched it in 18.28. It was New South Wales' Brad DeLosa scoring the 10 points with a new Australian record. 9 points for Meyer and a great effort by Dingle with 8. Overall, it's heating up with 2 points between O'Toole, Meyer and DeLosa on the Volkswagen Amarok leaderboard. Any of the next 7 athletes can still make up the Aussie team with plenty of points still up for grabs. Only 2 rounds to go. Mind your toes, the underhand chop is up next.
STIHL Timbersports, presented by Volkswagen Amarok. Tough comes from within. And STIHL. Better garden power tools.
Welcome back to STIHL Timbersports Australia. Now it's the underhand chop.
In the past, the underhand chop technique was used to cut a felled tree down to size. Standing on a horizontal log, the athletes cut with an axe through 32 centimetres of wood. The log has to be worked from both sides. Nerves of steel are needed as the axe impacts just centimetres from the athlete's feet.
Let's pick up the action in the second heat of the underhand chop. Beckett versus Gurr. They're chasing down the time to beat of 24.79 set by Queenslander Brody Dingle. These two guys still have a good shot at making the Aussie team. It looks like Beckett is in the lead, really opening up on the backside of the log. Gurr gets a little bit of a stick there. I don't think he's going to catch Beckett now, and he doesn't. Beckett takes it in 24.04. Heat 3, Laurence O'Toole and Jamie Head. Huge blows from O'Toole on the left. Chips are flying out. He looks like he got a little bit stuck there, but he's recovered well. Jamie Head working through, but it looks like O'Toole is onto the backside early. He's looking to set up for some big drives here. Who wants it more? Is it the Queenslander or is it the Victorian? Laurence O'Toole, Jamie Head. It's all going to come down to these final few drives, and it's O'Toole that takes it in 22.09. It's a photo finish replay. Keep your eyes on both blocks. O'Toole just does it. Heat number 4, underhand chop. Maya from Victoria, Argent from Queensland. The time to beat, 22.09 from Laurence O'Toole. Good start by both axemen. The wood is flying out early. There's some powerful stuff here. It looks like the Queenslander might slightly be ahead. No, Braden turns first, but Mitch might have put in a little bit more work on the backside. Last few strokes before the drives come in. Who's got it? Is it the Queenslander or is it the Victorian? It's the Queenslander, Mitch Argent in 29.5. Let's look at the finish again. It looks like Maya has it, but the extra hit costs him. We're into the final of the underhand chop. The Australian record holder, Cody Steers, versus the world's fastest lumberjack, Brad DeLosa. Look at the speed of Steers. That Australian record of his could go. He's absolutely demolishing that poplar. He turns first. This is quick. Steers is pulling out chips like a hungry man at the fairground. He's looking really comfortable. I can't pick it. Is it DeLosa? Is it Steers? Driver's in now. And it's Steers that takes it. 21.51, but not enough to beat Argent. Let's have another look at Brad DeLosa. He falls off his cradle and that slows his campaign. That might just end up costing him at the end of the day.
Cody, congratulations. You still hold the Australian record. Wasn't a good cut down in the front. You were a bit all over the place. A bit of stress on yourself?
Obviously didn't get the work done in the front. Went round the back and I did open up better, but yeah, just a bit unlucky. And once I got in out of wood, the log split on me a bit, and that never helps. So.
Here's another look at Mitchell Argent's cut. It was such a beautifully well-orchestrated hit pattern with a time of 29.5. It's Mitchell Argent taking the 10 points ahead of Maya, Steers, O'Toole and Head. Looking at the Volkswagen Amarok leaderboard, that puts O'Toole and Maya tied in first place. DeLosa third, Argent fourth and Gert holding on tight to fifth. But it's not over yet because it all comes down to the hot saw.
For this discipline, the ultimate power saws are called into action. Hot saws are custom chainsaws powered by full-spec motorbike or jet ski engines. Athletes have a space of only 15 centimetres to cut 3 complete discs from a 46 centimetre log. Jumping the gun or cutting over the line will result in disqualification. Strength and timing are needed to handle these awesome machines.
And we're straight into the first heat of the hot saw. Beams versus Beckett. 2 good cookies. Beckett with a slight lead. Oh no, his chain's come off. That's game over. Beams just needs one more good cookie. And he does, 11.40. Well, that's a pretty wild start to the hot saw with Justin Beckett losing a chain and almost his thumb. Dale Beams again struggles to get 3 good cookies. That's another ticket to DQ City. In our next heat, it's Jamie Head who knows how to cut 3 good cookies. And in the Queensland qualifier, he set a new Australian record of 8.55 seconds.
Since the state qualifier, I've had a few problems with the hot saw. Had some ignition problems and some tuning problems, but hopefully I've got it sorted out for this week and it's running really good.
Just bought myself a hot saw. I only had three days to adapt to that, which is fairly different being as I haven't used one since the qualifying round.
Don't go anywhere. With only 8 cuts left, who will be crowned the STIHL Timbersports Australian champ?
STIHL Timbersports, presented by Volkswagen Amarok. Tough comes from within. And STIHL. Better garden power tools.
Welcome back. We're ready to go in Heat 2 of the hot saw. Jamie Head on the left, looking really comfortable, setting his saw. It looks like Steers' chain had become loose in the warm-up, so he's only got seconds to the start. Both guys look set.
Hands on the wood.
Hands are on the wood.
Set.
With 2 DQs in the previous heat, they guaranteed some good points with just 3 good cookies. Head's in the lead. Steers is cut out. And Head sets it with a time of 8:30. Steers is going to have to come back for a fourth. I think he's booked himself a trip to DQ City.
We've got a good cut on stand 1 and a DQ on stand 2.
Heat 3, hot saw action. It's Dingle on the left, Gurr on the right. Dingle's got a good start and looks to set a nice first cookie. No, he doesn't. It just pops out. Gurr's just getting his saw started now. Dingle will need to cut 4, but Gurr's start may have cost him a ticket to Poland. Dingle's time, 14:80. Pending review. Gurr's time, 17:89. So far, there's 2 good cuts in the bank. Jamie Head leads Matt Gurr. Then there's 4 athletes with DQs and 4 yet to race. Brad DeLosa needs a lightning fast time if he's any chance to become the Aussie champion, with Mitch Argent needing a really good cut to regain his spot in the Aussie team.
I love every time I go out to pick the hot saw up to run one. I just love running them, yeah.
In our Queensland qualifying round, Mitch Argent used the competition-provided hot saw and clocked a time of 9:17. In the New South Wales qualifier, Brad DeLosa set the current Australian record of 6.67 seconds with his custom-built monster.
Over the 6 disciplines, you've got to perform well in all 6. You know, if you have got a weakness, that certainly will let you down.
DeLosa needs a win here, and Argent no DQ, and he's on the plane to Poland.
Hands on the wood. Get set.
DeLosa has flown out the blocks. Argent looking cautious. Look at DeLosa go. That's a new Australian record. Argent just needs 3 good cookies and he's in the Australian team. Onto it now. It looks good from where I am. 13:42. Come of the moment, come of the man. Australian record, Brad DeLosa. Let's have another look at it. Brad DeLosa up on stage, setting the saw. Hands are on the wood. Drop start, and then it's on. 3 perfect cookies, sawdust everywhere, and a new Australian record. Let's take another look at the Volkswagen Amarok leaderboard. A new record in 10 points as it stands for DeLosa. With 4 DQs on the board, Meyer and O'Toole will get a minimum of 5 points for a good run. That means O'Toole and Meyer have to beat each other and Gurr's time of 17:89 to be crowned the Australian champion.
Time is ready. Contestants ready. 60 seconds to warm up the saw.
Oh no, O'Toole's saw didn't start. Meyer's fired up first time. It's sounding good. Back to O'Toole. Can he get it going? No, he can't. He'll try again. Are we going to see a repeat of Dale Ryan from the qualifier? 3rd attempt. No dice. His day could come crumbling down around him after leading all day. 4th attempt. And he's away. He doesn't have long now to get his soaring position and his hands on the wood. Brad DeLosa looks on with a time to beat of 6.29 seconds behind him. O'Toole needs to get his hands on the wood.
Get set.
2 great starts. I'm not sure O'Toole's cookie was that good. Meyer is struggling to get his 2nd cookie off. O'Toole's 3rd looks good, but has he left enough space for 1 more? No, he hasn't. Meyer's saw is really struggling. Has he done it? The clock says O'Toole has the win. We'll have to see the replay. Laurence O'Toole, his first cookie was definitely not complete. On the upcut, his saw drifts, limiting his remaining wood. Coming down for the 3rd, it's not bad, but it's still a little wonky. He goes for a 4th, but there's absolutely no room left. You can see his face, he's absolutely gutted. Now Meyer's cut. He drops the first cookie nice and thin. On the upcut though, he seems to really struggle getting into the wood. 3rd cookie. He's battling to keep the saw going. Take a look at his right hand and how he's feathering that throttle. But he does, and keeps his Australian Championship dream alive. Brad DeLosa thinks he's done it. I'm not too sure. It's down to the judges.
Stand 1, good cut. Stand 2, DQ.
Is Meyer picking up those 7 points enough to snatch the victory? And it's confirmed. Braden Meyer is crowned our first ever STIHL Timbersports Australian champion. Well, that's it for STIHL Timbersports Australia's inaugural season. And it was the young gun, Victorian Braden Meyer, who clinched glory. Let's have a bit of a look back to see how he did it. Next time on STIHL Timbersports Australia, we follow the Australian champion and team to Poznan, Poland for the STIHL Timbersports World Championships.
To go over to Poland for the first time would be unreal. To go there and compete for my country for another year is a dream, really. Ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted to do it, and I finally get to do it.
I was happy to see Braden win. He's a great kid, and yeah, 100%. I'm sure he'll be over at my house for some training before we go.
The big questions are, can Maya bring home the gold in the individual, and can the team make it 2 golds on the trot in the team relay?
Yeah, I think I only got my passport 2 weeks ago or something, so lucky I went out and got it when I did, otherwise I might not be going, so it'll be good, yeah.
Really looking forward to it now. We should have a pretty strong team, a couple of young blokes in there, and a little bit of experience with myself and Laurence, so yeah, you know, I'm pretty excited and I think we can go really well over there.
I'm Braden Meyer from Broadford, Victoria, Australian Timber Sports champion. Come with me and the team to Poland.